Alejandro takes me for a spin in his '54 Chevy convertible. He painted it bright pink, he says, to grab the attention of potential customers. A driver like Alejandro earns $30 an hour, more than what some Cuban government workers make in a month driving tourists around Havana. The only problem is, these days in Havana, there aren't any tourists.
Nadie, cero turismo. Entonces, cero
There is
ingresos.
nobody, he says. Zero tourism, zero earnings. No one thought it would last this long. In early April, after the first cases of coronavirus in Cuba were brought in by tourists, Cuba closed international borders. Tourism, a pillar of the Cuban economy, came to a screeching halt. Once packed with visitors, 400-year-old plazas in Old Havana now sit empty. Brand new hotels built by the Cuban government are cordoned off. Drone video shot over Havana shows endless empty streets. By taking extreme measures like closing international borders, Cuba has managed to keep the number of confirmed coronavirus cases relatively low compared to much of the rest of the region. But we have seen that when the government begins to lift those restrictions, the numbers go shooting back up. As of right now, there is no word on when Cuba will reopen to the rest of the world. In July, Cuba opened a handful of government-owned hotels on isolated keys where international visitors only have contact with hotel staff. Few tourists so far have visited. The island also still reeling from the U.S. embargo and increased Trump administration sanctions. Cubans who own the restaurants and rent their homes have now gone 6 months with little to no earnings.
People really are struggling, but somehow people continue to get by with the casas particulares, the rental homes, restaurants. It seems like people, for the most part, are just grasping and trying to hold on until there's an opening again.
Alejandro says classic cars like his have become an endangered species on the road here, as most drivers cannot afford gas or to maintain their cars. He is pinning his hopes on a vaccine that Cuba is developing. I'm hopeful our doctors finish the vaccine and vaccinate everyone, he says, and we can go to a new normal because things won't go back to normal. Until then, Cuba and Cubans will have to wait to rejoin the rest of the world. Patrick Ottman, CNN Havana.